You've been told walking is enough. Every doctor, every wellness article, every friendly neighbor swears by it. And yes, it's a great habit. But here's the strange truth most people miss. Thousands of older adults walk every single day and still feel like their body is shutting down. If walking alone were the full answer, why do so many seniors still wake up with tight hips, aching backs, and knees that feel like they're grinding with every step? Why the fear of falling? Why the sudden fatigue from simply standing at the kitchen counter? What's missing isn't motivation. It's movement that goes deeper. Walking moves you forward, but it doesn't activate the stabilizing muscles that hold your posture tall. It doesn't reawaken the deep core that protects your spine. And it certainly doesn't restore mobility in joints that have been neglected for decades. You need something more, a smarter approach that works with your changing body. If you've ever asked yourself, why am I doing everything right but still hurting? You're not alone. And this video might be the first one that truly answers that question. So before we dive in, tap that like button and Rennard is 72, not the kind of man who sits around. He spent 4 decades as a museum curator, carefully preserving early American maps and rare documents most people never even knew existed. His passion for history wasn't just a job. It was how he stayed connected to the bigger story of life. After retirement, he didn't slow down. He traded his daily museum walks for neighborhood ones, 2 miles every morning, no matter the weather. He called it his mobile meditation, and in his mind, that meant he was doing everything right. To anyone watching, Rennard looked like the perfect example of healthy aging. Always moving, always alert, always polite with a nod to the other walkers. But quietly, his body had started sending signals. At first, he ignored them. That subtle tug in his left shoulder when he reached for a cereal box, he figured it was normal. Aging, right? Then came the dragging right foot. Just a slight scuff on the pavement now, and then nothing dramatic, until it caught the edge of a rug in the grocery store. He didn't fall, but he felt the jolt in his chest, that heart-pounding reminder of how fast things can change. Still, he kept walking. Routine was comfort, and walking, he thought, was his medicine. But the final red flag couldn't be brushed aside. One afternoon, as he leaned forward to rise from his recliner, he realized both hands were bracing hard against the armrests. His legs weren't helping anymore. His own body, once reliable and responsive, had gone silent on him. That's when it hit him. He was doing the one thing every expert recommends. Yet he was losing ground. Rennard wasn't lazy. He wasn't weak-willed. He was simply stuck in a routine that didn't support what his body actually needed at this stage of life. And he's not alone. So many older adults follow the advice they've been given: walk, stay active, keep moving, yet their bodies keep betraying them. But what Rennard discovered next turned everything around. Walking is often seen as the holy grail of healthy aging, and in many ways, it is a beautiful, accessible form of movement. But here's what most people don't realize. Walking, while beneficial, is a repetitive, linear motion. It mostly engages the front of your body, your hip flexors, calves, and a bit of your heart and lungs. But what about the other systems your body relies on to function fully? The ones that make the difference between standing tall or hunched over, stepping confidently or hesitating at every curb, feeling strong or slowly shrinking into yourself. That's where walking falls short. It doesn't address rotational strength, which is your ability to twist, turn, and stabilize your spine. The very movement your body makes every time you reach across the kitchen counter or turn to check traffic before crossing the street. It doesn't decompress tight joints like the stiff hips that grind when you get out of bed, or the shoulders that feel glued every time you try to put on a coat. And it certainly doesn't reawaken the deep, stabilizing muscles, the ones that quietly switch off as we age unless we intentionally call them back to life. These muscles are your protectors. They keep your spine aligned, your balance sharp, and your step solid. When they go dormant, you may not notice it right away, but over time, your movements become smaller. Your energy dips. You rely more on furniture to help you up, and your confidence in your own body quietly disappears. This was exactly where Rennard found himself. He was moving, yes, but his movement had become shallow, predictable, one-dimensional. What he really needed wasn't to move more. He needed to move smarter, with intention, variety, and targeted strength that walking alone could never give him. Once he learned to unlock the missing layers, those neglected parts of his body that had been asleep for years, everything began to shift. And now, you'll learn the exact same moves that helped him rediscover control, strength, and freedom in his own body. Exercise 1. Doorway lean and twist. Thoracic release plus shoulder reset. If your shoulders feel tight when reaching overhead, if your upper back feels like it's made of concrete, or if your posture has slowly rounded forward over the years, this movement is going to feel like a miracle. Let's start with something you probably haven't done in years: opening the chest and twisting the spine. At the same time, stand inside an open doorway. Place one forearm on each side of the door frame at shoulder height. Gently lean your chest forward between your arms until you feel a nice stretch across your chest and shoulders. Don't push, just ease into it. Now, without moving your feet, slowly rotate your torso to one side. Hold it for a breath, then rotate to the other side. What's happening here is more than a stretch. You're waking up your thoracic spine, the part of your back that's responsible for upper body mobility. This area gets locked up as we age, especially if you've spent decades hunched over computers, books, steering wheels, or even just doing housework. When this part of your body locks down, your shoulders start creeping upward, your neck gets stiff, and your balance suffers because your body is no longer moving as a unit. The doorway lean and twist resets all of that in just a few slow, mindful movements. And here's something most seniors don't realize. Improving your upper back rotation isn't just about feeling limber. It actually supports your lungs by expanding your rib cage. It takes pressure off the lower back, and it plays a key role in keeping your posture upright and balanced, which directly reduces your risk of falling. One of the best things about this exercise is how accessible it is. You don't need to get on the floor. You don't need weights. You just need a doorway and a willingness to reclaim space in your own body. For Rennard, this movement helped him reverse years of shoulder tightness. Within a week, he noticed he could reach higher in the kitchen cabinets without wincing. And that stiff, guarded feeling in his back, gone. Try this once a day, just 60 seconds, and listen to how your body responds. It might surprise you. Have you ever felt like your chest was caving in or your shoulders were frozen? Drop a comment below if this movement speaks to you. You're not alone, and this is where it starts to get better. Exercise 2. Ankle clock points. Proprioception plus balance. Falls don't usually happen because of one big misstep. They happen because of micro instability, those tiny, split-second moments when your body isn't fully aware of where your foot is, how your ankle is positioned, or what the ground is doing beneath you. That's where this unusual but powerful move comes in. Stand tall in a safe, open space, preferably near a counter or sturdy chair in case you need support. Now, imagine a large clock on the floor beneath your feet. Lift one foot just a couple inches off the ground, keeping the other firmly planted. With slow, deliberate control, point your lifted foot toward 12 o'clock. Then move to 3 o'clock. Next, 6 o'clock. And finally 9 o'clock. It's not about speed, it's about precision. Now, do the same with the other foot. This simple move trains something called proprioception, your body's ability to sense position, direction, and movement. In other words, it teaches your body where it is in space, and that's a skill that fades fast after 60 unless you intentionally keep it sharp. You're also activating the tiny, stabilizing muscles in your ankles, hips, and core, muscles that are almost completely untouched by walking. These muscles act like your body's shock absorbers and emergency brakes. They help you stay upright on uneven sidewalks, slippery kitchen floors, or when someone unexpectedly bumps into you. And here's what most seniors don't realize. You don't need to fall to have a balance problem. If you ever hesitate before stepping off a curb, feel nervous climbing stairs, or catch yourself holding on to furniture just in case. Your body is already telling you it needs better balance. The ankle clock points drill restores that confidence by strengthening your connection to the ground, literally. For Rennard, this one was a game changer. He had started shuffling more during walks, barely lifting his feet. But after a week of this exercise, his stride became more intentional. He felt steadier when getting dressed, stepping into the shower, and walking across gravel. You can do this in socks on a firm surface. Try it near a wall or sturdy table at first until you feel more sure of yourself. Most importantly, don't rush. This isn't a test of flexibility or strength. It's a test of control, and every little improvement adds up to a body you can trust. Exercise 3. Palm press curls. Isometric biceps plus grip strength. You might not think about your grip strength until you start struggling with something small, like opening a stubborn jar lid, twisting a doorknob, or even holding onto a grocery bag without fatigue. But grip strength isn't just about your hands. It's actually a powerful indicator of overall vitality and independence as you age. The palm press curl is a surprisingly effective, equipment-free way to strengthen not just your grip, but also your biceps, shoulders, and upper chest, all without needing a single dumbbell. Here's how to do it. Sit upright on a firm chair, feet flat on the floor, shoulders relaxed. Bring your hands together in front of your chest, palm to palm, like you're about to pray. Now press both palms firmly into each other. You should already feel the tension across your chest and arms. From here, slowly try to curl one hand upward, as if you're trying to lift it, while the other hand resists and pushes down. Hold that resistance for a slow count of 5, then switch sides. What makes this movement powerful is that it uses isometric contraction, a form of exercise where the muscles engage without changing length. This builds strength without wear and tear on your joints, making it especially ideal for seniors with arthritis, shoulder tightness, or reduced mobility. But here's the real secret benefit. By engaging the entire arm chain, including the often neglected forearms and finger flexors, you also stimulate nerve pathways that enhance coordination and reaction time. That means when you slip, your body is better prepared to react, because your arms are not just stronger, but smarter. For Rennard, this was the move that brought life back to his arms. He used to dread opening tight jars or lifting heavier pans. Now, after adding palm press curls to his daily routine, he's back to turning doorknobs with ease, confidently using his cane when needed, and even carrying firewood again on chilly evenings. This may look like a small move, but it carries big results. Try doing 3 to 5 slow reps on each side once a day. You'll not only feel stronger, you'll feel capable again. If you've ever felt that frustrating twinge of weakness when using your hands, give this a shot today. And let us know in the comments, what's one everyday task you'd love to make easier again? Exercise 4. Seated figure for press, hip joint mobilizer. For many older adults, hip tightness becomes a silent thief. It creeps in slowly, making it harder to bend over, more uncomfortable to sit for long periods, and downright painful to stand up without groaning. But here's the twist. The pain isn't always in the hips. Sometimes it shows up as nagging low back aches, or even knee discomfort that just won't quit. The true culprit? A small, deeply hidden muscle called the piriformis, along with the surrounding glutes that help stabilize your entire lower body. When these muscles get tight or weak, everything downstream, from your spine to your feet, can suffer. That's where the seated figure, for press, comes in. Start by sitting on a firm, supportive chair. Keep your back tall and your shoulders relaxed. Now, take one ankle and gently place it over the opposite knee, forming a figure 4 shape with your legs. Already feeling a stretch? You're not alone. Now, place one hand on the elevated knee and gently press downward. Don't force it. Let gravity and your breath do most of the work. As you hold the position, you'll feel a deep, satisfying release through the outer hip, glutes, and maybe even into your lower back. Why does this matter? because this stretch unlocks one of the most commonly overlooked areas in senior mobility: hip external rotation. This is the exact movement your body uses when getting in and out of a car, climbing stairs, or turning while seated. If the hips are tight and immobile, your body compensates, and that compensation often leads to pain elsewhere. For Rennard, this exercise was a revelation. He didn't realize how stiff his hips had become until he tried the figure 4 press. After just a few sessions, he noticed it was easier to tie his shoes, stand from the couch, and walk without that heavy, dragging sensation in his stride. And here's the bonus. When your hips are open and mobile, your pelvic alignment improves, which can significantly reduce pressure on the spine. Better alignment means better balance, better walking mechanics, and fewer aches at the end of the day. Try holding the stretch for 20 to 30 seconds per side. Breathe deeply. Let your body sink into it. Over time, you'll notice improved ease with movements you may have thought were permanently difficult. Exercise 5, backwards walk with towel drag, posterior chain activation. Most people over 60 spend their days moving forward, walking, reaching, bending, but hardly ever think about the muscles behind them. That's a problem, because it's the backside of your body, the glutes, hamstrings, and calves, that keeps you upright, strong, and safe from falling. And sadly, for many seniors, these powerful muscles go completely offline as the years pass. That's where the backwards walk with towel drag comes in. It may look simple, but don't be fooled. This move is a sneaky powerhouse for waking up muscles you didn't even know had fallen asleep. Start by placing a towel, dishcloth, or even a sock under one foot on a smooth surface like tile or hardwood. Hold onto a countertop, windowsill, or sturdy chair for balance. Now, standing tall, gently drag your foot backward, slowly and with control. Keep the heel lightly pressing into the floor as the towel slides back. Then bring your foot forward and repeat. You'll feel it in the hamstrings and glutes, those big muscles in the back of your thighs and buttocks that often get ignored by forward-only movements like walking. Why does this matter? Because these muscles, collectively called the posterior chain, are responsible for some of the most important movements in your daily life. Climbing stairs, rising from a seated position, keeping your back aligned, and absorbing impact when you stumble. When they're weak, your body starts to shift the load onto your knees or lower back, leading to chronic pain and joint strain. But when you strengthen them, your body becomes more resilient, more stable, and more energized. For Rennard, this was the missing link. He hadn't realized how much power he'd lost behind him until he tried this exercise. After 2 weeks, he noticed he could climb his basement stairs without stopping halfway. He even stood longer during his museum volunteer shift, without shifting from foot to foot or grabbing a stool. And perhaps most importantly, he stopped dreading uneven sidewalks. This movement doesn't require a gym, equipment, or even much space, just intention. Start with 6 to 8 reps per leg once a day. Go slow. Feel the muscles contract as you drag the towel back. That's where the magic is. Have you been ignoring your backside for too long? Try this move today and tell us in the comments. Rennard never expected anything to change. He wasn't lazy. He wasn't careless. He was simply following what he had always been told. Just keep walking. But deep down, he knew something wasn't right. He had started shuffling more than walking. His arms felt heavier. He couldn't stand up from a soft couch without rocking forward twice. The strength he used to count on gone. That scared him more than he let on. Then he made one small decision. He picked 3 exercises from the routine you've just learned. Not all 5. Not a full workout. Just 3 movements a day. Less than 10 minutes total. He didn't go to a gym. He didn't buy equipment. He simply added intention to his daily routine. At first, it felt subtle. But by day 6, his posture had changed. He was standing taller without realizing it. By day 9, the usual pressure in his lower back after breakfast was no longer there. And on day 12, something clicked. He reached up to grab a book from the high shelf in his den and noticed it felt easy. No pinch in the shoulder. No hesitation. Later that evening, he stood up from his recliner without using his arms. It shocked him. He didn't even think about it. He just stood up, but the biggest shift happened the next morning. As he stepped out the door for his daily walk, he moved differently. His feet lifted. His stride opened up. He wasn't dragging or compensating. He was walking with rhythm, confidence, and purpose. He wasn't just checking off a habit. He was reconnected with his body, and that changed everything. It didn't take a miracle. It didn't take 6 months. It took specific movements that targeted the muscles walking never touched. Movements that gave him back what time had slowly taken away: function, strength, and freedom. And if Rennard could do it at 72, without fancy routines or a fitness background, what's stopping you? You don't need perfect form. You don't need to do all 5. Just pick one. Try it. Your turnaround might be closer than you think. Here's your simple challenge. No pressure, no perfection, just progress. For the next 5 days, pick one exercise each day from what you've learned. Start with the one that felt the most surprising, or the one that made you say, "Oh, I've never tried that before." Whether it's the doorway lean and twist, the ankle clock points, the palm press curl, the figure 4 press, or the towel drag, choose just one. Do it slowly, do it intentionally, and most importantly, feel it, because the real magic isn't in doing more. It's in doing the right things that target the parts of your body that walking skips entirely. Here's what you may start noticing by day 2 or 3. Your shoulders feel more open. You're standing up with less effort. You're more stable when putting on shoes or stepping into the shower. Little things feel easier, and that's not your imagination. That's your nervous system waking up, your balance recalibrating, your strength returning. By the end of 5 days, you'll have done a full body reset without stepping foot in a gym. You'll have challenged your core, awakened deep hip stabilizers, released tension in your spine, and turned on muscles you probably forgot you even had. This is how change starts. Quietly, gently, but consistently. And we want to hear from you. Which of these 5 exercises gave you that aha moment? Which one made you feel stronger, taller, more in control? Let us know in the comments. When you share, you help others realize they're not alone. You might even inspire someone else to start their 5-day journey. Your body isn't finished. It's waiting. Let's bring it back, one movement at a time. Walking is a beautiful habit, gentle on the joints, calming to the mind, and great for circulation. But if that's all you do, it's like watering only half the garden and wondering why the flowers won't bloom. Your body is layered, intelligent, and adaptive, even now, no matter your age. It just needs the right kind of input. Movement that reawakens the muscles that support your spine, protect your balance, and power your daily life. You don't have to become a fitness expert. You just have to become more connected to what your body really needs. This isn't about perfection. It's about potential. If this video gave you a new way to think about your strength, posture, or stability, take a second to tap the like button. And if you have a friend, sibling, or neighbor who walks every day but still feels stiff or unsteady, share this with them. It could be the reset they've been looking for. And don't forget to subscribe to Better Aging Advice, where we bring you fresh, practical, and deeply relatable ways to move, feel, and age better. Because the best years don't arrive on their own. They're built day by day, move by move, and you're already on your way.